Hello, my friends. Today is December 15. My name is Sensei Alexey Kunin, and this is my blog about my life journey. In my previous blog, we talked about the comparison between traditional Japanese Jiu-Jitsu and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I was surprised to receive so much inquiries. So I decided to expand this topic a little bit. A lot of young people that contacted me were completely surprised to find out there is such thing as traditional Japanese Jiu-Jitsu. The modern media, television and video movies and TikTok created this illusion that there is only one Jiu-Jitsu, which is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And when they found out, this young generation, that there is an ancient samurai art of traditional Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, they were just in shock. And they also found out that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has a lot of limitations when it comes to fighting art. Like I was mentioning in my previous blog, yes, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it's a great art, but it's more as a sport. It has very unrealistic combat applications. And the biggest problem with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it's not of its training. Training is great. It's a concept of fighting on the ground. In a real combat, you go to the ground, you will die. There is always somebody who's going to be better than you, stronger than you, heavier than you. But it's more than that. And I would like to expand this idea on a very important point, especially from a combat point of view. So you're walking in the street, and there's a couple of guys in the city environment jump you, and they trying to beat you up. Well, if you decide to go to the ground because of your training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you feel comfortable, you feel good, you know the techniques, so you take one guy down. And you probably even defeating this guy in the ground. Well, guess what's gonna happen to the second guy? You think that second guy will be waiting and looking while you're beating up his body? Probably not. He's gonna take a bottle, empty bottle, glass bottle, and hit you over the head. Or he gonna take a rock, or he gonna take a stick, or he gonna pull a knife, and this is it. Your life is worthless. What if the guy in the ground who you're fighting also has a knife, and he doesn't play by the rules? He will be sticking you with his knife. So this is the reality of combat. Another very important point people forgetting. On the ground, you can only fight one-on-one. Standing, you can fight multiple attackers. This is very important in combat and also in police. If you think you're going to defeat somebody on the ground, yes, you probably will if you're good. But you're going to die. Standing and fighting, you're buying yourself a chance either to fight multiple attackers at the same time. That's what traditional Japanese Jiu-Jitsu teaches you in a realistic combat fighting environment, to fight two or maybe three people. And there is a strategy how to fight multiple attackers. Or if you need to, you can run. Nothing wrong of running, especially if somebody pulls a knife on you, because it doesn't matter how good you are. You're always gonna get cut, or die. So again, biggest problem with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, training is good, techniques pretty good, but it's not designed for real combat. You cannot fight one-on-one on the ground. You can win, but in a long time you will lose, because you need to be standing and fighting and be ready to run or fight multiple attackers or be able to defend yourself against weapons that will come against you. So this is the most important point to remember. So that's another very important point about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and traditional Japanese Jiu-Jitsu. Traditional Japanese Jiu-Jitsu been around for hundreds and hundreds of years, tested in combat for hundreds of years. So it has much more realistic self-defense. And next time we're gonna talk about MMA, mixed martial arts. I got a lot of inquiries from my students and friends overseas, and they asked me to talk about MMA, and I would gladly talk about MMA. And if you have any more questions comparing, or not even comparing, but talking about the difference between traditional Japanese Jiu-Jitsu and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, if you have specific questions, feel free to contact me. So again, this is Sensei Alexey Kunin, and I'm recording this from my dojo, Katabami Ju-Jitsu Dojo, School of Martial Arts and Eastern Healing Arts. All right, guys, talk to you later. Bye-bye.